What is going on, everybody? I pray you're doing phenomenally well. So, on this video, I want to talk to you about the secret close to closing more deals. I don't know if it's a secret close, actually, maybe more of a secret strategy, but it's actually not a secret at all. But before I dive into it, click on the link below or subscribe, share, notifications, all of that good stuff. Enough with the clickbait and the teasers. Let's jump right into it. So, what I want to talk about on today's topic is novation agreements. Now, novations is nothing new under the sun. Investors have been doing them for years and years and years. Okay. I started doing novations really heavily in 2024, which is just a side note here, if I may kind of backtrack. Now, I know that I'm starting to share a lot more creative strategies because I do want to plant the seed to show you what's possible. But you have to understand that for me, everything was a gradual increase. I don't believe that you should necessarily be trying to do novation strategies that I'm going to go over if you've never done a deal before. So I know that's kind of contradicting in a sense, but to some degree, we have to learn the basics first before we start trying to go, you know, full throttle, right? Like, would you want to give your 16-year-old child or son specifically that just got his driver's license, would you want to give him the keys to a Corvette or would you want to give him the keys to a Ferrari? Probably not, right? Something can go wrong here. And so uh, just because he has his driver's license doesn't necessarily mean that we should be giving him the keys to a Ferrari out of the gate. So I hope that analogy made sense. But for me, it was a gradual increase. I started with wholesaling. I started incorporating sub twos. I started doing seller financing. I started building rental properties, and then I started doing novations. And so everything was just building blocks, building blocks, building blocks. Okay. So don't feel like you have to know all of these things right out of the gate. Okay. So I know that was a far rant. Hope you're still with me. But let's talk about what novations is and how it's powerful and when it really comes into play. So, what a novation agreement is basically you are agreeing to novate or list that property on the seller's behalf for the seller. So, typically, you are going to be listing these properties on the MLS on the seller's behalf. This is very crucial and important to know that you're listing it on the seller's behalf. Somebody put in the comments on the seller's behalf. You are not acting like a real estate agent. You are not a real estate agent, okay? So the best way that I can describe it specifically with the novation agreement is you are providing a white glove service, right? You are being a full circle service provider when it comes to helping families through their situation with their property, okay? Now, this works very well when, let's say, for example, I go and I make my cash offer, and the cash offer is just a little too low and it doesn't work for them. Or let's say they're not interested in a sub two. Well, now, if the seller has time, that's the biggest thing with novations. These closings typically take a little more time. They'll typically take 45 to maybe even 60 days. Okay. So if they have the time, I can say, hey, seller, we could possibly list this on the MLS on your behalf. And this way, this allows us to put at least 10, 20, 30,000 more dollars in the seller's pocket, right? And so they're happy about that. So now when I go to them, I have multiple options for them. I say, hey, Mr. Seller, I could potentially give you a cash offer at, $70,000. But if we're not in any time or hurry, your property does qualify for a specific offer or program where we can potentially put, $110,000 in your pocket, but it's going to take a little more time. This is going to take us about 45 days to close. How does that sound? Right. And now I'm planting the seed. So they have a quick cash offer and then they have a novation offer here. So that's the biggest thing. Also, when you're doing your novations, just know there's going to be typically two more forms involved on getting that property under contract. So, number one, you're going to have your standard purchase agreement. Number two, you're going to have the novation agreement. This basically just states that, hey, I'm listing the property on the seller's behalf. And then thirdly, you're going to normally have like an attorney of fact or POA, something like that, that lets you sign on the seller's behalf. So you are the one that's doing the negotiation on the property, with the property, for the property. The only thing the seller needs to do is sign up at closing, show up at closing, excuse me, and sign. Another important tip when doing novations, do not list these yourself. So there's typically two ways that you can go about it. You can use a flat fee listing service, right? An MLS service. You could pay $500-600 and list that property. The only issue with this is now you're going to be taking all of those calls, doing all of that, going through the offers, etc. We're not trying to create another job for ourselves, right? We're trying to be a little more systematized, I guess you could say. So you want to go the other route is find an agent that knows how to list and do novation agreements. Okay. Not every agent's brokerage will allow them to do novation agreements. So it's very important that we find an agent that can, right? And they can actually get that property listed for you. They're going to present you the offers. They're going to show you the offers. This is what we got. And then you can decide yes or no. Now, a benefit to the seller is we tell the sellers, hey, we're going to list this on the MLS, get more people over here, etc. But you don't have to worry about agent commissions or anything like that. We're going to take care of all of that stuff. So all of those agent commissions and things of that nature are going to come out of our assignment fee, so to speak. And just because it's coming out of our assignment fee, don't think that we're going to be making much less. We're really not. When we actually do these novation agreements, we tend to make at least 20K plus on every assignment fee after everything is deducted. Okay. So it's an amazing, amazing strategy here for you to start diving into. And the third thing to keep in mind is not every single title company will handle these type of transactions. Okay. So keep that in mind. You want to find a good agent. You want to find a good title company that can close on these type of agreements. But I truly believe that the novation is the secret strategy. I don't know why I keep calling it a secret. It just sounds good, I guess. But an amazing strategy to help you close more deals, to help you become more competitive in the market and get more deals across the finish line. So let me know in the comments what you think. Have you tried novations? Are you interested in this? And let me know. Chat with y'all soon.